All right, so for my Bio 202 extra credit, we're doing the urine formation. So here you have my terribly drawn diagram here. I mean, you can see here we have like the efferent arteriole, the efferent arteriole, the glomerulus, the capsule, renal artery, renal vein, peritubular capillaries. They're kind of marked. It was supposed to be purple, like red and blue mixed, but it didn't work so great. You can also see the vasa recta, the nephron loop, the proximal convoluted tubule, the distal convoluted tubule, and the collecting duct at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of hold this steady here as I go over basically the processes. First, we have the blood that enters the renal artery. This is where the blood is branched into the capillary groups. Blood in the afferent arteriole passes through to the glomerulus, and filtration takes place. This is kind of where the small particles are eliminated from the blood by being pulled into the glomerular capsule via like the small little pores that are in there. The filtrate collects in the space between the glomerulus and the glomerular capsule. Blood that has been filtered by the glomerulus will exit through the efferent arteriole. The larger particles that are too big to be filtered are removed through the peritubular capillaries. Reabsorption occurs in the renal tubule, and the first part of the renal tubule is the proximal convoluted tubule. This has a lot of the microvilla in it that increases the capacity to absorb the filtrate. So the filtrate is what is received from the glomerulus. All this twists increase the time that is also allowed for the absorption. So filtrate is then passed through the nephron loop in order to keep the water and pretty much to balance the water and the sodium out. Secretion takes place in the distal convoluted tubule, and this is where hormones will be then released. You'll also find wastes that have not been filtered yet in the collecting duct, is where and this is kind of where like the filtrate and the urine collect. Water conservation also occurs at this point. The blood is rehydrated and the waste becomes super concentrated in the remaining urine. The urine that from the nephrons then enters the collecting ducts, where it goes through the renal medulla for removal. And this is my project. Thank you guys.